Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode with Mrs. Danielle DeVita. I am a relationship and femininity coach, and my goal is to help both men and women be in relationships that's best for them. Now, today we're going to be talking about femininity in the workplace and how you can balance your femininity depending on the job that you have, and then go home and still be the feminine wife that your husband desires, or still be in a relationship and be feminine the way that your boyfriend desires. So many people get the idea of femininity as being weak, and it's actually on the contrary. You're actually strong because you know how to balance your womanhood and rest in your femininity at your core while still doing things that require you to have masculine like traits, the heavy leadership qualities depending on your job status, or having to have a strong, firm personality to get the job done, but still being able to balance your authenticity. A lot of times people, they lose their authenticity because now it's wrapped in their job, and who they are now becomes what position they have rather than who they are as a person. I watched a show called The Rookie, and it's a show about police officers that are rookies. And there's one girl, I cannot remember her name right now, but I believe that even though she's a police officer, she's very feminine. She's I think a Filipino or Asian or something like that. And she does a great job of still being herself while still being a police officer. So many times we are in leadership roles. We're in roles where we have to do a lot of action and doing and leading and guiding, and that sometimes we have to play a certain role to compete with males if it's a male dominated role. Some roles you don't have this issue, whether you be a teacher, in some cases a nurse where you do a lot of nurturing, a caregiver, where you are doing a lot of things that has to relate to domestic, or cooking, cleaning, doing fashion, hair. Those things you can still be in your feminine role, but there's some roles where you have to lead and guide a team of people, or where you have to be tough and rough, like an officer or a firefighter, and things like that, where it requires you to do a lot of guiding others, rather than resting in that femininity. But I still believe that you can still, in any role, in anything that you do in life, you can find the opportunity to have this gentle soul about you, to be caring and loving, and to still smile. If you're a correction officer, you may not be able to smile a lot in that particular role, but there are ways outside of being in front of prisoners that you can still be yourself. A lot of times women are in roles where they feel like they can't be themselves, or they would be pushed over. But when you go home, you have to understand that when you cross this door, when you cross over, you're no longer in that role. You're now a wife, a mother, a girlfriend, whoever you actually are outside of that role. That's what your family wants to see. And I found that often people do not want to, or particularly women don't want to sacrifice that. But how can you balance that? Having the ability to compartmentalize. You have to understand that this is my role. This is what I do at work. They need to see the firm me, not the soft me. But my children, my husband, my family, they need to see the loving side of me. They need to see the caring side of me. And sometimes you may need to reconsider your role. Sometimes people take on jobs because they feel like they have to. I do think it's best to find your passion, find what you like and what you're and things in which you're good, where you can use your skills, but you can still be yourself. I mean, who wants to have a job where you may have the skills, but you're not even being yourself? you're faking it, right? Because you're trying to fit in this role. Do something that you find that is part of you, is an extension of you. Not that you're trying to take on the role of the job, but the job is really an extension of who you are and what you are already doing and what your mission is out of life that you plan to do. Because what people fail to realize, just like jobs have a brand and they have a value system and a role for their people, we as people have that as well. We have roles, we have values, we have mission statements. Through our words and our action, that's what people see, that where we stand in life, where our values are. And so I want to make sure that you understand that if you are a woman and you're trying to be feminine in the workplace, understand that balance is the key. Understanding that this is your role and your position here. And at home, you're not lawyer. At home, you're not doctor. At home, you're not the director, the CEO, or the business owner. At home, you are a mother. At home, you're a wife. Here, you are a girlfriend. Here, you are not your role. You are not the sales person. You are not the real estate agent that's out trying to grind. You are mother and wife and girlfriend. And this particular role takes on a more feminine dynamic. It takes on the role of loving, nurturing, kind, gentle, right? And you want to make sure that you balance that, because the same way we kind of want our husbands to, and sometimes have a gentle side to them, because yes, it's great to be masculine and to be rough and tough, but women don't want their men to be rough and tough with them. They want them to be rough and tough in society and then have that firm, ability to discipline children, yes. But you want to have a gentle side where women are like, oh, he is sweet, but he's strong as well. There's a strong, silent type about him. And of course, men cannot, be super gentle, because there's a level of masculinity that he needs to have. But that's where we come in. We are bringing the beauty and emotion to things through our femininity. And we don't need to sacrifice that. I truly believe that when women are in their feminine, men are naturally going to be in their masculine. So if you had a man who was not naturally in his masculine based on environmental and society factors that played a role in his life, if he's around a woman who's feminine, he's naturally going to step into a role that he may not have taken before, because he sees that this is a role he must take if she is assuming this role. There's only two roles you can take. And what people don't realize is that's essentially what we do even in relationships that are not heterosexual. When you see people that are in same gender relationships, you'll see one has taken on a more feminine role and the other has taken on a more masculine role. Even people who are not, thinking, in a biblical sense, they understand that we can't rest in the same role. We can't take on the same traits. One of us has to be, an opposite. One is more soft than the other. One is more rough than the other. One is more, gentle speaking, and the other one is more firm speaking. One is more masculine and rough around the edges, and the other one is not. If they understand that, why would those who are trying to have a traditional relationship, right? A traditional heterosexual relationship, why are they trying to compete for the same role? Why are you both trying to have control and leadership of the relationship? There is two levels of, leadership. One has an overall leadership to provide and protect, and that's what the men is there for. But there's a day-to-day of what goes in the refrigerator, what our children eat, how the home is decorated, the feel of the home. The not just decoration, but just the ambiance, the feel of the home. That woman can take on that day-to-day role. So there's just two levels of leadership qualities, but one allows the woman to rest in her feminine to do that, because it doesn't take on a more hardcore masculine trait. decorating and putting things in the refrigerator and cooking won't have the same feel as someone leading and guiding and handling the budget. I'm telling you, those things have it can drain you, but it's ordained for the man. So it may not feel that way. Men like to work. They like the grind. They just like doing, of course, what they want instead of doing a job that they don't want. They want something that's either career oriented or something that they see a passion in it. But I do believe that caring for our children, caring for our home, having a passion, if we do have a job, and something that we feel that is part of our mission statement as a person, our personal brand, things will be a lot better for us. So you all tell me what you think about this, being feminine in the workplace. Do you find it hard for you? Do you find it easy for you? And if you like this content, go ahead and follow and subscribe. I am on TikTok, I am on Instagram, I am on Facebook, and here on YouTube. So definitely subscribe. I try to post things on other social media as well, but the things I post on most, of course, is going to be YouTube and Facebook. But definitely subscribe. There's no cost to you. Share this video, comment, because that will help others to provide input on traditional style relationships. And again, there's other content out there where people are talking about even being more traditional, where the woman is not working at all. But my goal is, because I know that especially people in this society, both parties are working, right? Both men and women are working. How can you balance that? How can you balance your femininity while working? And I want women who are working to understand that you don't have to be a homemaker to rest in that femininity. You can start right now, today. So when you do decide to be a homemaker, you'll already take on these feminine traits, because you still have a home whether you're working or not. So you still have to clean that home. You still have to care for your children. You still have a relationship whether you're working or not. So you're gonna still need to take on some of these habits of, resting in your femininity and balancing things out, right? Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care.